Ji, of course, is from Noida.
All right.
I have been with the JP at Noida and Greater Noida both.
Right, sir.
Big joy having you, and we had it before you, Mrs. Bhattacharya and Sayukta Sharma ji.
Right, sir.
So it's
Yes,
big
and
joy
thank
to
you.
have the third member also from the Manav Rajta.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Big joy having you.
I think Aditya has also joined.
Is Aditya there? Aditya, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Aditya is from Ramakia.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And we have Dimple Gelot from Panbai International School, Mumbai.
Right.
And we have Akash Prasad from JPS, Greater Noida.
And also Vartika.
Vartika, yeah. Vartika
Good evening,
is from
sir.
Vartika is from DPS Harit.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Big joy having you students and the very seasoned educators, the pedagogical leaders from two different schools. And we have also Siddharth Jain ji, who is a very eminent personality in the field of education. I've had a long association with this Siddharth ji, and EduTalk has been doing magically good. Siddharth, we go ahead with this.
Yeah, I think Shashi ji is expected.
Dr. Shashi is there.
Sir, I'll be joining in 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Do
Okay,
we
so-
start?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think Ronav.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Very good evening to all the participants. Sunday at 6. This is Voice of Choice of EduTalk. May I request all the attendees to kindly mute themselves so that you can hear the panelists very loud and clear. The very idea of having students and educators together on this forum is very simple. That these two important stakeholders during this pandemic period, which is the transit period, have had their share of challenges and opportunities which they have grabbed it. We believe very strongly in EduTalk. हम ही हम हैं तो क्या हम हैं, तुम ही तुम हो तो क्या तुम हो, हम और तुम हैं तो दुनिया है. So we are going to have this discussion into two rounds. The first round is Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. So in this Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, we are going to discuss the challenges which you have faced during the pandemic, and in these challenges, what are those opportunities you've been able to grab it? These students represent the student community and the principals represent the educators community, so that we can realize the plights and advantages of each other, because this learning of a transit period, I have a faith that this is going to write a new model of learning which will be there in the post-pandemic. Let me tell you, nothing is going to reverse. Very little is going to be reversed. The way forward is written now, and we are required to read the writing on the wall. So idea is to read the writing on the wall. There we start with the youngsters first, giving them an opportunity to share in brief. We will have a small bites, but sharp bites, so that we can have more bites. So we start with the Ramakya, the Aditya Gupta. Aditya, share with us what are the challenges you faced and what opportunities you can get in. So your take starts now.
Very good evening, sir, my respected teachers, and to my dear fellows. First of all, I would like to say thank you, sir, for providing me this golden opportunity to speak. We know that every coin has two faces, and so did the lockdown during the pandemic. But I chose the optimistic one, not the pessimistic one. I usually try to stay positive all the time. I spend time with my family, I used to talk with them, and my friends, usually, which was not possible to get earlier because we had to go to the school. I also improved my hobbies. Like I was very keen in playing guitar earlier, but I didn't usually get much time. But when I was at home, I realized about self-development, and I thought that I should pursue my guitar more forward. I also learned about cooking, how to cook food from my mother and my father. I even helped my mother in my household work, as that time there were no helpers. My school also conducted many activities and competitions, which helped me gain me more confidence and also helped me improve my oratory skills. The biggest challenge which I faced was about that how we have to learn about things, as everything was online and it was very new for us. We didn't know how to study sitting on our computer screens, but gradually we learned and I adapted in it. And then I became habitual and everything went well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Aditya. Being very sharp and very clear. Coin has two sides. You very well said, and you opted the optimistic one. And you learned during all this period cooking, guitar, and also you were thinking of, how to go about the learning.
Yes,
Very
sir.
great.
And sir, I also used to watch many motivational movies like about
Wonderful.
many successful people,
Very
how
good.
they went forward in their life, they faced their failures and challenges.
Good. So we carry forward from you. So you choose to be optimistic and you choose to learn quite a few things, including, cooking, spending a lot of time with your family. Very good. Very nice day. We come down to now to Mumbai. We fly straight to Santa Cruz. That's where the Panbai International School is located. And we have a young and smart Dimple Gehlot with us. Dimple, tell us, how do you feel about it? What's your take?
So, hello everyone. My name is Dimple, and I'm very happy to be here to be discussing about this topic that we've all been into this situation. So it's really an honor.
I think
So
you'll need to increase your volume a little.
Slightly increase your volume.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. You're loud and clear. Only increase your volume.
Okay. So as my friend Aditya here said that he chose the optimistic approach, and I think we all should be choosing an optimistic approach here because I've heard the saying, and my parents have told me that if you look at something in an optimistic way, you'll find the good sides and you enjoy the method. And if you look at something in a pessimistic way, you'll not enjoy it. So I took it as an optimistic thing as well. And one of the things that I really found something out of the box was this webinars. We host online webinars now, and I think they've become very creative now because before coronavirus, we wouldn't have thought about this online webinars where we as children are given this exposure and it helps us improve our skills. So that is one of the things that really changed. And I think online education has made our children really very independent. So we now do not, rely more on the teachers, and then we just, try to find our ways how we can grow. And apart from school and everything, I think my hobby is reading. So I focus more. Like it gave me more time. It encouraged me. It motivated me to time myself. Time management was very important. So I would time myself. I would like slot some time for studies and then read and everything. So it was basically personal growth for us. And I think that because I took it, because most of us took it in a really positive manner, we could personally grow. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a very sharp bite from a Mumbaiker, and I think Dimple has made amply clear that she heard to her parents, and she learned how to grow. She learned how to be smart on webinars. She realized the importance of distance education, and she resolved to reading at home. Wonderful. We never realized that our children were never stressed up because of the pandemic. They rather were trying to transform themselves into a better human being. That's the way forward, I believe. And I'm sure the two seasoned educators who are here will be very happy to know that kids are very comfortable and they are enjoying their their way of life when they are at home. We come down now to Vartika. Vartika is from DPS Harit, and we would like to hear Vartika.
So,
How are you?
good evening.
Please.
Yes,
good
sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening to one and all present here. Well, sir, according to my experience, I would say that this pandemic gave us the opportunity to brush up all our existing skills. Initially, it was quite a difficult time. It was challenging for me as well. But as it is rightly said, that every challenge is an opportunity. I made sure to utilize this time the best way I could. During online learning, I realized that I could learn at my own pace and in my comfort zone, which saved a lot of time of mine that I invested in other activities as well. Like, for example, I indulged myself in online meditation workshops, which I would have never thought of in the pre-pandemic situation. And these workshops really helped me connect to myself with a better understanding than ever before. Also, my school provided me with the opportunity to attend online coding sessions, though I did not continue it, but it was a whole new experience for me and I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful. I think Vartika is amply clear. I am sure the educators are assured of with your, resolving to do meditation.
Yes.
And that's the way our kids have found their way ahead. So we switch over to Akash Prasad from JPS Greater Noida. We would like to know how is it your journey going on? Is Akash there?
Yes, sir.
Akash, good evening.
Good evening to all. Good evening to one and all present here, and also my fellow students and my fellow panelists as well. I am Akash Prasad from grade 12, and I am currently studying in JP Public School, Greater Noida. And so I would like to directly jump to the points. So firstly, challenges. Well, there have been a few challenges, such as, the teething pains in the beginning. So, and if you switch to any new system, there is a little bit of friction associated with it. And so definitely there was some problems in the beginning, but I think now, 1 year in, I think this will become better, I guess. And secondly, the problem is the lack of social interaction that I've faced. Humans are social animals at the end of the day, and we require social interaction not only for our well-being, but as an adolescent, it is really important for our growth. So for our so it's really important for emotional, spiritual growth. So you need social interaction. That's something that is really hard to replicate online. But as I recently learned in Chinese, the character for crisis is extremely similar to the character for opportunity. And what that taught me was every crisis also has an opportunity associated with it. And so the opportunities that I found out was self-learning. At the end of the day, you are responsible for your own learning. I am the captain of my own ship, and therefore I must learn on my own. And so I was taught to learn on my own. And so I got this extra time and this opportunity to learn a whole bunch of things, from machine learning to something as simple as gardening, and something as simple as basically I was able to learn a whole bunch of new skills as well. So I was also able to dabble into photography. I was able to learn guitar as well. I was able to progress in my guitaring skills as well. So I guess overall it was a great experience, self-learning wise. And one thing I noticed as well was the rapid adoption of technology. If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have guessed in a million years that we would be so quick to adopt online classes. I would have never thought that we would ever see the day where we would have online classes. And so that's something that I'm really impressed by, the rapid adoption of technology, both by our teachers as well as our students. So that's something that really impresses me. So that's my takeaway from the COVID pandemic.
Very well said. I think, Akash, well taken. And after having teething problems, initially children have resolved, as Akash said very clearly. And, you know, I will be, he said one thing very important, which we will discuss when we discuss the NEP. He talked about self-learning, which is meta-learning. There's a lot of focus in the NEP on meta-learning. That is, the youngster take control of their own learning. So the shift is going to take place in with the NEP. Now I'll take down with the educator side, the seasoned principals we have. And I would like to first take a bite from Gayatri ji. Gayatri ji, you heard our students. I thought they might have been sulking into, negative side of the pandemic, but luckily they all are very positive and they all have grabbed their opportunities. So that's one. But then the other stakeholder which we are concerned is about the teachers. You know, our teachers equally are equal stakeholders, rather important stakeholders in the transactions. So I would like to know from you, how did your teachers and you cope up with the pandemic and what opportunities you picked up?
Right.
Actually.
Right. Good evening, everyone. And it's a delight to be here on this forum. And I must congratulate all the students here. Wonderfully spoken, very well done. And your thoughts came out very lucid and clear. So over here, I would talk about the teachers. See, first of all, it was an entire shift of the structure. We were not prepared for the pandemic at all because many teachers, they did not have the ICT skills like we would require for the pandemic, like making PPTs, having voiceovers on them, and having, even meeting on the Google was quite a difficult task. That was last year. But then we were equipped in the sense in a very short time, say about, we didn't take more than 15 to 20 days in which we had, we made tutorials for them so that they could, study those. They were sent across. Those who were living nearby actually went and helped them, especially the ones who were quite aged, who couldn't actually come online and didn't know how to, actually never open the laptop. For those kind of teachers, we even had, sessions for them. So it was a shift, an entire shift. And but definitely it helped. We never knew that it was going to be so long, because we just thought maybe one day everything's going to be back to normal. But when we look at it now, you're shaken. You're completely shaken because this is going to last. It's not going away so easy. But definitely we learned a lot. All the new skills of being creative, because in a problem, you always come out with creative thinking and innovation. We did all that. I would just share with you, we thought of having online assemblies. Of course, all the schools did all these kind of things, but then even having an annual function online, then we went on. Whatever our imagination could go to, we went there. And we dabbled in every area. We just did not stop. And I think we were loving it because we had never done something this way. And it was an entirely new journey. I was asking my teachers, of course, it was challenging also for them. It wasn't easy, I would say that. But it was a new experience, definitely. And they shaped up. As they went along, they shaped up. And they showed resilience, I must say. That was the word, I would say. They stuck on. And if we are anywhere today, it's because of them. So, and they, when I had this session in May, I called the teachers to school, I remember, and they came. So they were frontline warriors. For them, I would applaud them. I would my heart out to them, because otherwise the children wouldn't have been, in this. We wouldn't have been able to educate them if they wouldn't have come. We tried our best, whichever way we could, but yes, they did come out. They stepped out of their houses and they did come to seek help wherever was required. So this speaks a lot about our teachers and what the kind of personalities we have in teaching. So they went to Diksha apps. They had many trainings. We also, like she just mentioned, Vartika, we also had meditation sessions for them so that they could cope. And of course, it was challenging because on one hand they were in a family and they were taking out hours to teach you. So definitely at times it gets a little, overwhelming to have that kind of an environment where everybody can just walk inside when you're teaching and, somebody's yelling out for something. So that's a little difficult for teachers, but they did make the most of it and they came out. Now they are definitely much better equipped than they were last year.
Absolutely fantastic hearing you, Gayatri ji. I'm sure our children must have been reassured that teachers are not behind and they have caught up. They have caught up with digital teaching and they are not far behind the new. And it's great time. And I would like to, say well done teachers, because it was one very herculean task that our teachers were to pick up digital mode in teaching. And I think they have been able to do it. So congratulations to the entire teaching fraternity. Let me share with you, there are about 90 people who are on board and they all need to be complimented. Nandini ji, welcome. Nandini ji is also there. We would like to take a bite with Nindya ji now. We would like especially you to focus on, our teaching fraternity majority is of females. So they are caught up at home with teaching and, household chores together. How did they cope up this part of it?
All right. So good evening, everyone. And good evening, Mr. Sharma and Gayatri. And good evening to all these young, enthusiastic students. Trust me, I was amazed listening to you while the question was that, what are the challenges? None of you had a challenge. And it's all inspiring to listen to you that while we were struggling with the technology, the teacher fraternity was struggling with the technology, you were the ones who did not even mention that you had any problem with technology. The reason is that you are the natives of technology and we are the migrants. When you were little ones, your moms used to teach you to walk, to write, but now you teach us to handle the technology. So kudos to you people. And another thing that I have come across while listening to you is that there's not a single child who spoke about any challenge. In fact, you could identify your hobbies, you could identify the areas you wanted to work upon, and you went through that. So that's amazing in listening to you. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm listening forward to listening to each one of you.
Yeah. Same
So
here.
when we started, honestly speaking, my school, although we have mostly the younger staff and they are used to the technology, but still we had a lot of challenges initially. We did not know what apps to be used, and trust me, we used to ask our children because we went on Teams immediately. So we used to take help of our students to help us out finding out an app to teach a particular mathematics solution. So this was there, but yes, as sir said, that the teachers are back home. They are trying to have a balance between the workplace and home. So it's home workplace balance that they are trying to maintain. They are definitely going through a lot of struggle because with no household heads coming in, they are expected. And it is a Indian thought process that if a female is at home, she's the one who's going to look after the kitchen. So it's expected that if she's at home, even if she has work, she's expected to make the breakfast, she's expected to make the in-between tea, she's expected to make the lunch. So teachers did have the trouble of this, but then we had a workshop on time management. And we also took an orientation, I would say, with the families of these teachers. And we had one-to-one conversations wherever we could find there were issues back home, but it was all sorted. As you all said, there are a lot of opportunities that came our way during this pandemic. Indian education system always wanted technology to be at the center stage, but we didn't know how to do it. Actually, we did not know how to do it. For us, technology was smart boards. Technology was giving research work to the children. We didn't know we could utilize technology like this. And this technology has taken a peak now. Okay, we are at the peak now. And we know how to use it appropriately. And this challenge which was there has become our opportunity. And trust me, children like you, even I have identified my hobby. I started writing a book, and I've just written 25% of it. Maybe when next year we meet again, I'll be ready with my book. So that's an opportunity that personally I have also had. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to listening to each one. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you, Nidhya ji. I think well said. Our teachers being, at the focal point in the family, expected to do all the household chores. And I'm sure after hearing both of you, Gayatri ji and Nidhya, I would like to join student fraternity in cheering up the teachers, saying 3 cheers for the teachers. Hip hip hooray! I will say hip hip.
Hooray!
Say hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Hooray!
Well done. Absolutely good. Kudos to all the teachers and also to the student fraternity. I think we have somebody very, very important with us is Mr. Siddharth Jain, who's been in the education sector for sizable time. And as a very important stakeholder, he would have been seeing both student and teachers. We would like to have an overview from Siddharth ji.
Thank you very much, Sharma sir, for asking me once again to be on this panel. And a very warm and cool welcome to all the panelists. Why warm? Because it is warm. And why cool? Because we are working on technology these days. So it's a new slang which we generally use. So a very warm and cool welcome to all of you. And especially the kids, I would not really call them kids because they are teachers nowadays for us. So, they have, as Nindya ji rightly said, and even Gayatri ji mentioned, that the kids are really taking a way forward and helping us out. So I will, talk about pre-pandemic days when we were talking about infusion of technology into school education. So we have been working on innovation and we have been reaching out to various schools, and it was quite a challenge. In fact, Mohan Pradeep Sharma sir has also been, mentoring us all the way. We were reaching out to various schools, reaching them out and telling them how the technology should be infused for the betterment of imparting of education. This pandemic has certainly come as an opportunity. Obviously, it has some flip sides, but we always look at the opportunities, being educators and working in the education space. So this is something which has really come as a catalyst to provide us into a situation where our teaching and pedagogy can be completely fusion. It can be a fusion of one-to-one teaching or a kind of blended form of teaching, where the students are also able to share their inputs, as well as the teachers are also able to their experience on board, which helps the overall learning to be much more better for the whole ecosystem. Now, talking about the challenges that were faced by the schools, certainly it was really a very big challenging situation for all the schools. But as has been already mentioned, kudos to all the teachers, the type of efforts they have put in. The teachers who were spending maybe earlier 8 hours, they have spent almost 12 hours, 13 hours, 16 hours a day. They have prepared notes, they have prepared their PPTs, they have taken classes, they have taken assessments, which is something really commendable. And a lot of people, we do not understand sometimes that technology has also played a very important role. There has been a very important role of the technical side. So we never mentioned about the people who have been talking about technology. For example, Google Classroom coming forward, or Zoom classes coming forward, and all those things. So all said and done, I would say that this pandemic has made our education ecosystem advanced by almost about 15 to 20 years. So this is what, in nutshell, I look at as a positive side of this pandemic. I really wish the pandemic gets over very soon, because we really need to get back to classes. We really need to be interacting with the teachers one-to-one and learning, because what happens is, when we go to the school, we not only learn what is in the curriculum, but we learn a different way to tackle the world also, which can actually happen in the physical classroom. So with this, I would like to once again thanks all the people for the session today.
Very nice to hear to Siddharthi, hot and cold, the concept which he shared with. And then, it's a very visionary statement which he made it. We would not have been able to otherwise make it. Especially, I have been a teacher for a very long time. Our teaching fraternity, including me, we were trailing behind, and we were unwilling to come out of cozy, cuddly corner, Now this has made us, even during pandemic, I'll tell you, when I was managing some number of schools, I have learned Padlet from students. One of our class 12 students, I called him, he's too good at it. And I said, I would like to learn Padlet. He says, sir, it's very easy. It comes like this. For kids, is a left-hand work. For us, it is. So we are migrant, as rightly said, and they are the citizen of this. Well said, I think. Now we come down to, we have heard both the sides, and I'm sure our students will definitely appreciate the efforts made by the teachers. And similarly, our teachers are reassured, principals are reassured that children are picking up new skills. They are concentrating. They are not sulking into negative side. They are on to positive side. So that's a very welcome situation. We switch on now to the second thing. I think this pandemic, as Siddharthi says very clearly, it is proven to be a boom for all Indians. We, in education sector and in health sector, we have been able to do quite a bit. The world will look at us tomorrow, because this new NEP has a very new horizon. It's the first time, children, a political will has shown a courage of making complete overhaul in the education policy, which we inherited from Britishers, which was destroyed properly, systematically, so that we resolved to rote learning. This NEP document, which has been prepared by Ranganathan Committee, has done wonderful work. wonderfully good. I would like to take a bite with Gayatri ji on the very vision of the NEP, which states very clearly that the NEP envisioned education system which is deeply rooted into the Indian ethos.
Right. And actually, first of all, we are talking about the 21st century skills here. Like when we talk about the holistic development of children. And, when we talk about NEP, we are, the major aspect is of meta learning. That is, like you just said some time back, that there's a radical shift from the teaching aspect to self-learning. And that's what the journey is. And that's what the children are doing nowadays. I mean, you are given the stuff, you take your time, all your resources are with you, you sit with them and you check and you see what is it that you can, take from there. So that really, gives you, you can assess yourself and you can learn by that. So it basically, we are talking about here is the competency-based education. That means that you become the master of a certain aspect. So that's where the NEP is going. And soon it will be based on this only, on competency-based education. That is what the new NEP is all about. So there's going to be a radical shift, and I think we have already transiting into it. This is my take, that we are already stepped into it, though our steps are baby steps, but definitely it's going to be a long journey ahead. We need to do a lot. Of course, there would be trainings for teachers, for principals and all that, which has started, of course. In Diksha also we have that, where the teachers are going and taking training. Besides that, we are, even on competency-based education, we are having trainings for teachers. So that is the shift at the moment. And so, which I would say is the need of the hour as well.
Absolutely well said. I think baby steps are very important, because with each drop, this ocean, it will become an ocean of knowledge. I think well said, Gayatri ji. I would like to take a bite with Nindya ji, especially with regard to the vision statement which the NEP has made it abundantly clear that this policy envision education system to be, deeply rooted into the Indian ethos.
Right, sir. I think, am I audible?
Yeah, absolutely. Loud and clear.
All right. So, sir, this policy majorly, the vision encircles around three main areas. One is our Indian ethos. As you said, that our education system used to be the best. The Indian education system used to be the best. But the Britishers coming in, they did not want to have the leaders. They wanted the followers. So the entire shift was towards the rote learning. So that's why the first part is that we have to have our Indian ethos in place. The high quality education has to be there so that we can create global leaders. We do not, it's like the entire world coming into one place. So we have to create global leaders. The second was the pedagogical shift that they were talking of, that we need to have a lot of respect for our fundamental duties and rights. And of course, children need to know about the Constitution of India, the way the Constitution was created, and they need to have a strong bond with the country. And third was definitely that there has to be sense of responsibility, sense of, belongingness towards the country, which was missing, because if we go through our curriculum, nowhere we allow the child to have a responsibility towards the country. Nowhere they had the sense of belonging. So with this new NEP coming in, I'm sure that our children will get a lot of opportunities. We will be able to create sustainable future for them. And now there is a tread path. There's a path which is very clearly laid for our children, that if you tread this, you reach here. So we have to have, like we say, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the entire world has to be brought into the laps of our children, so that they can have the career of their choice, they can have the future of that they look at, but at the same time, they are grounded. Their feet are here in India. Even if they work for some other country, they have a sense of belonging towards India. So this vision is very clear. The NEP is very clear when they have listed out these three major visions. And I think if we get the clear instruction from the government how to implement, because drafts are beautiful, but the problem comes when the implementation is there. So if we have clear guidelines about implementation, I'm sure we will create leaders of tomorrow. We'll create thinking children. We'll create children who will learn to collaborate and work, and children who will go beyond themselves, but at the same time remain strong with their roots. So I think that is what the basic idea about it.
Nindya ji, well said. I think you made it abundantly clear. You talked about the Indian ethos. Indian system was very well known in the world due to the Shishya, Guru Shishya, the kind of practices we had, the Gurukuls we had. And I think your take about shift in pedagogical approaches, children pedagogy is a mode of transmitting the skills and the knowledge to the learners. Even we are learners. I mean, we take that pride into it. And you see, Gayatri ji talked about meta learning, which will make you a lifelong learner eventually. So I'd like to take now, take from the children. I mean, of course, they are not children. They are the future of this country. They are young people. I would like to take with Dimple. Is Dimple there?
Yes,
Dimple.
sir. Yes, sir.
Dimple Gelot. Take a bite onto Indian education system, deeply rooted into the Indian ethos, and India emerging as a superpower in knowledge.
So first of all, I'd like to say that.
Volume.
I'd like to say that.
Yeah.
NEP is like, if you ask for my personal opinion, it is a boon to us Indians, because this is what we actually need to really grow, because we as children, I've heard that we are the future of the country and we will lead it. So this positive change will totally transform the education system, and it will make us, very handy, and it will improve our skills a lot. One of the things that I came across from the national education policy was the vocational training, and that I think is the best thing that can happen for us children, because it will not.
Sir, voice was slow, sir.
It will not only make us smart, but it will also help us prepare for the future world, and this positive change, this will be because it will not only focus on education, but on other skills which we as students really require to be street smart. Thank you.
To be street smart is a big take, and I think what Nandini ji said, it's a document which is very radical, but once it is put into implementation, it will have its own repercussions. But I'm sure the way the kids are taking, the way the teachers are taking, I'm sure the journey is going to be very comfortable. I'll take on now with Aditya. Aditya, what is your take about all that?
So first of all, I feel very privileged and proud of being an Indian, which has such a great education system. Unlike the Western education, which are all very similar to each other. Our education system in 1986 focused more on disparities and to equalize the education opportunity. But the education in 2020, it ensured accessibility, affordability, and the overall holistic development of an individual. It gives more importance to knowledge rather than mugging up things and on rote learning. It gives preference to the mother tongue language. I really think it is the commendable effort, as when a children is taught by the mother language, he or she feels more connected towards it, and also the culture of the tradition is also preserved. The second thing which I like the most is about the flexibility in the choice of subjects. It now allows students to pursue the subjects of their choice and has ended up the 3-stream selection system, which was a NEP also focuses to teach through technology and also has laid importance to coding, which is considered to be one of the most employment generating field in the coming era. Vocational training is also given a very significant position, and students can also have internships from 6th. The government has also made a provision of 10 days bagless period where students learn variety of subjects like pottery, carpentry, and art and craft, etc. Another objective which I like the most is about the self-evaluation and report. It allows students to analyze themselves rather than anyone else telling them where they lack and where they are good. I think it is very important for students to analyze themselves because not every time in life we have a teacher who can tell us where we lack and where we are good. Also, after 12th, the students also have an option of credit transfer in which they are allowed to pursue another profession in which they are interested. For example, if a student is studying BTech and he or she wants to leave after 1 year, he will get a certificate after leaving, and after doing 2 years, he will also get a diploma. Also, when I told about these things to my parents, they felt very jealous about it because at that time they only had an option of choosing only one stream and not different subjects. After getting to know about all these provisions, I really feel that if they are effectively implemented, then it will definitely create a young India with an innovative approach to work and life.
I'm glad that Nitya has counted down a lot of
Yes, well said,
benefits,
Aditya.
advantages. Very well, I think well said. And we will talk soon about all this. I would like to take now a call with Vartika. Vartika, your bite about the vision which you see in the policy.
Yes, sir. So talking about NEP, I think it signals the end of rote learning and brings in assessment based on the core concepts. Like previously, the education policy of 1986 focused on access to education, but today it is more about quality education. This policy is very flexible and it does not limit us to certain standards. And as it focuses on assessment as learning, I think it's great and is clearly seen as the need of the hour, particularly when the over-dependence on high-stake examinations has been questioned by the pandemic. The new pedagogical framework, the 5+3+3+4, will strengthen the base of every individual right from the beginning. Further, this elimination of a rigid stream system in secondary education will ensure that no career option is restricted to students due to subject specialization. And the idea that has impressed me the most is introducing vocational courses and bagless days from grade 6 onwards. I think it will increase self-dependency among students and enabling every child to have at least one skill at the end of school education. So I think it's a great move.
I think well said, Vartika. I'm glad, I'm sure both the principals must be very glad to hear that our children are also, familiar with what is the nitty-gritty involved in this policy.
Yes.
They not that they are unaware of it. It's very good that it has percolated down to the student. I'm sure it will have a comfortable time in implementation. We take a small bite with now Akash from JPS Greater Noida.
Yes, sir. So the National Education Policy 2020. Well, I guess it's a game changer, and that's the biggest thing I can say for any government move. When almost the majority of the population says that it's a game changer, it probably means there's something to it. And so let's cover what is basically in the NEP. Well, you could obviously get the nitty-gritties from Google, of course. I don't have to explain it to you. You can do it yourself. But let me just touch upon what I found that was special about this National Education Policy 2020. The first is the interdisciplinary approach. Right now, as we know that we are restricted to streams where we can only study science, commerce, or humanities. You don't have the option to pick and choose your subjects. Now you have the option to pick and choose your subjects. What I call the buffet model. You keep what you want and you throw away what you don't want. And the point for this is, well, interdisciplinary approach. You as a person in the 21st century cannot survive with only one set of skills. I can't just say, well, I am a physicist and I don't know anything about anything. That doesn't work in the modern world. You need to know a lot of different skills. For example, even a physicist needs to know coding. He also needs to know how to manage finances. So he must know commerce as well, and things like that. So my thinking is that interdisciplinary approach is the best thing that this NEP has done. The second is, as we've already talked about, is metacognition and meta learning. We need to think about how we think. We need to learn how to learn. And I think this is supposed to be the most important function of a school. You need to know how to think, and we need to learn how to learn. So to quote the Prime Minister, the policy focuses on how to think rather than what to think. And that's something really profound. We need to know critical thinking. Critical thinking is the most essential skill of the 21st century. And so this is something that I really, really like about the policy. And thirdly is the idea of emphasis on self-reflection rather than examination. So this signals a move from assembly line, what I call assembly line education, towards something where a system where we sculpt leaders. And so this is something that I really like as well, because there's a Greek proverb, know thyself. And unless we don't know ourselves, we don't know our roots, we do not know our culture, I don't think there is any way we can move forward with our progress. So to sum up, I would just say that this policy is where the wisdom of the past and the enthusiasm of the future, they meet. And that's where greatness happens. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Hearing the youngsters coining new names, calling it a buffer system, calling it a line management. This is something very interesting to hear the young people with their own thoughts translating the education policy. I would like to now have a bite with Siddharth. I am sure he must be very glad hearing the principals and the students talking about the NEP. Please.
Sir, thank you once again. So, talking about NEP, we started working on giving suggestions to the government even before the first draft was released. So that is a time since then we have been working on this thing. And yes, it's a game changer, very well drafted. But the most important critical thing is implementation. So one thing very important, that if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So it's categorically important for all of us to understand that how do we really implement it. Talking about, giving preference to vocational education, somewhere down the line, I feel that Indian education system always had space for vocational education. The only thing was that it was not as formal as other types of education were. So there were different institutions and they were not so much recognized. But this has been a good addition in this particular policy. Talking about multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary models, one thing in my personal thinking, that when you are focusing yourself on something specific, then you really need to have a very, 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 very focused approach. Somewhere down the line, if we are able to select our stream at the right age, then we can really work hard towards pursuing and getting into that particular stream of education. So I would still feel that students should be very focused. Nowadays, there is a lot of information available to them. A lot of sessions are available. Every pros cons of every career is available online. So students should actually utilize this opportunity to gather the knowledge and be able to select their stream well in advance, though they have the option to change it at a later stage, but still they should have the focus and they should be able to select their streams in advance rather than leaving it to the last end. Also, the amount of responsibility which has come on the students when we talk about self-reflection or talking about selecting the subjects, we should be very careful, because when we are talking about an option given to us, so it should not be a highly diverse option that we get into, because then we end up confusing our brain also sometimes. That on one side, we are learning a subject which is 360 degree different from another one. So it is a very, very important time where the students will have to be very careful in really making the right use of the flexibility that has been given through the new education policy. So that is the most important thing.
I think very good piece of advice, and Siddharthji being in the education industry for a very long time, I think that will serve as very good guideline for the young people. I'm sure youngsters, your principals must be very happy to hear you. Pratibha-ji will be very happy to hear, Dimple. Similarly, Aditya, your principal, will be very happy to hear you, and even Akash and Vartika. I'm sure Nandini ji, Aparna ji, and Meeta ji will be very happy to hear you and your takes. We'll take a final bite with both the principals before we end up. A small bite of 3 seconds each. All in all, what you heard, how did you feel, Gayatri ji, at the end of the program?
Right. I would say definitely it's. I'm feeling very optimistic when I look at children. I definitely feel that. Though I've been missing my kids. I always feel they're my children. So but the thing is, it's good to see them cheerful. They're happy, they're optimistic, and they're already deciding what they want to do in life, which is really amazing. And I just see that they're very young, but still they know where they're headed. That's the wonderful part of it. I think the NEP has really, like you said, sunk down to them, and which is a great part of it. And I would also like to say, like Siddharthji just added, I will just add that when you choose your stream, also remember one thing. I'm sorry, I'm taking more than those 3 seconds, but yes, I will just say that remember one thing. This is going to be in the higher education, actually implemented in 2040. Really, 2030, every state will have one HIE, this higher education institute. But so you need to choose your streams likewise. Don't be so random at the moment. Yes, a platform will be given, but surely, like I said, baby steps. Similarly, you will need to transit into it and not just rush into it. Like that's all I can, guide you. And thank you. This was a lovely session. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mr. Sharma. Thank you, Siddharthji and Nandji, for being here. And thank you for inviting me.
Big joy hearing you. And we would like to star of the talk, the Dr.
Sorry, sir. Actually, my son is not well, so I just came.
Absolutely okay. There's no problem about it. After hearing Gayatri ji and seeing Shashi ji on the stage, I'm reminded of a small story of Sunil Dutt ji and Nargis. In one of the films, Sunil Dutt has become the son of Nargis. That is in Mother India. And even in personal life, Nargis ji used to call him Birju. Birju is Rana. So he said, Nargis ji, you are my wife. He said, no, I like you in that mode, So sons are sons after all. Good. I think one small bite from Nindya ji is there.
Yes, sir. And
Nindya ji, your final bite after hearing all students and all teachers and the fellow panelists and Siddharth ji.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma. This is my first time on this platform, although I have been very regular on webinars with various other platforms. But trust me, I've enjoyed the most on this platform because there were young minds talking to you. And it's very inspiring listening to these young people because they are definitely our future. There's no doubt about that. But then they are strong future for us. So like I said that about multidisciplinary when I was talking of, one thing to keep in mind is that multidisciplinary is like what is a cloud kitchen. Okay, you take masala from here, you take curry from here, you take product from here, and make your own taste according to your own taste. But one very small, advice to you people: do not make a mess of your curry. Okay, be very careful while choosing from that cloud kitchen what kind of ingredient you are picking up. Be very careful about it because we've seen that you people are very young and enthusiastic and you want to do the best. But in doing the best, you should not end up making a mess of it. So thank you, editor, for having me here. And my special thanks to Dr. Suchitra, who recommended me because I had never been on this platform before. But trust me, I really enjoyed it. It's a thorough gratitude from my side. And all the best. Kudos to you children. You know where you are going. You have got very clear thought process and very inspiring people. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gayatri ji. Thank you, Siddharth, and thank you, Sharma.
Thank you, Nidhi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
For coming.
I'm glad people are enjoying this talk. And, children, time and again, I have been wearing my specs only to see till the last minute, there are 98 people still on board. So that shows how popular this has become, this voice of choice. We would like to hear from now Shashi ji, who has come. Please.
Sir, I was hearing everything, and
Absolutely.
the student has spoken well. 1986 study pattern and 2020 pattern and the buffet system also he's spoken about. It's wonderful. They have explained, means I have never heard about, like they have explained the 2020 NEP. So it is wonderful to listen them, and I'm getting a lot of messages from the principals that they are, all the students are speaking good. From their core of their heart, we have never heard about this, that they can think in this manner. So it was good. It was great.
Magically
Thank you,
good, I
Gayatri
think.
ma'am. Thank you, Nindya ma'am also. Thank you, Siddharth sir, for coming and for giving your time. And sir, your voice was amazing, amazing. I was hearing everything. I was wearing my Bluetooth and you were hearing everything.
We can make out this aeroplane voices coming from your channel only. It is Rana who's playing the
Sir, yes,
airplane.
yes. We
It
were
is big
discussing
joy
a lot,
always.
so
It is always big joy hearing the young people and the educators. There is a lot of learning which is involved in it, and we are glad that you are enjoying this program. I think
yes.
in
This
the
was
end,
the semi-final.
this is
This was
rightly
this is the
Shashi ji saying this is the semi-final.
semi-final.
We are now going to enter into the final on 4th of July.
Yes.
I'm sure each one of you will be on board with us. Please do what, enjoy the discussion, and in the end, we will have a 3 cheers for EduTalk. I'll say hip hip.
Thank you.
You'll say
Hooray.
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 Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Yeah,
Hooray.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.